It's good morning, Kinchem Hegedus. Welcome to Yellow Shell for the first time.
Good morning. So excited to be here.
It is fabulous to have you here. You've got a book. It is out now. It's called Inner Landscaping. Tell us all about your new book.
Well, here it is. Inner Landscaping, Nature's Code for Cultivating Creativity. And you can't see, but it's a beautiful embossed book. So I love the feeling of it too.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you a little glimpse inside because visually it's really pretty as well. It
Stunning.
has drawings and
Mhm.
guides to help you through the book and to make it a special place that you want to come back to. One of my favorite quotes from people who have read it and done reviews was Kath McKinnon, who said, "It's a book to cherish and to return to again and again." And that's how I feel about it. And I still return to it again and again as well. So, what it is a response to a workshop that I started 10 years ago when I was living in Bali and I was living in the green school community and walking to school through the jungle every morning and living in a bamboo house. And the school was all made of bamboo, and the school was filled with people from 40 different countries from all over the world. And the community was quite creative and dynamic. And I created a workshop to bring the community together so that we all met on a regular basis and discussed really great things. And the diversity was incredible. So during the workshops, people would say to me, "Oh my God, what you just said, have you got that written down?" So finally, it took me 10
Yeah.
years, but finally I have now got it written down. And at the time, I was guiding artist way groups. And I was also studying permaculture design.
Yeah.
And I was also facilitating a community process called the Strategic Review at the Green School.
Okay.
And so this book is really the culmination of all of those things merging. And somebody said to me, it's like permaculture and the artist's way had a love child. You know? And I really I love that idea.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know permaculture. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. But firstly, the book has basically a little beginning that talks about how the process emerged, how inner landscaping emerged, and a little bit about Bali and the Green School. And then it goes into the fundamentals of the what are called the rituals and practices of inner landscaping. Um, and one of the purposes for having these rituals and practices is that it develops like a common language between the people doing the process, which really helps people to bond as well. So there are things like one of the rituals is called green fuse, which basically means go outside, bare feet if you can, and touch something that's living and growing,
Yes.
connect with nature. And so the artist way, you may know, is a kind of based on a 12-step process. Julia Cameron saw herself as a recovering artist.
Oh,
So it was her recovery process. So this also has 12 practices, but the practices are actually my deep dive into the 12 permaculture principles. So back to permaculture. Permaculture is actually it's known as Australia's greatest intellectual export. It came out
mm.
of Tasmania in the 1970s,
Wow.
and it's a system of designing agriculture and also growing food in your backyard
Yeah.
that is inspired by looking at thriving ecosystems
Okay.
and saying, that forest is a thriving ecosystem. What patterns can I see in that?
Yes.
And I was studying permaculture design because I was really interested in it as a design process. The principles really resonated with me. And so I was doing a postgraduate degree in permaculture design and doing the artist way at the same time. And they merged together.
Yeah.
I had previously done an MFA in a creative writing method called the story workshop method, sorry, and a generative creative writing workshop called the story workshop method from Columbia College in Chicago. And wow, I really got lost into that. Um, get me back.
You're talking about permaculture and you kind of
Permaculture,
explaining,
permaculture.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. So what occurred to me was that um, I am a part of nature.
Sure.
And if these principles are evident in thriving ecosystems throughout nature, then they must be relevant to me. And
Sure.
so, how can I design my inner landscape
Yeah.
so that I too am a thriving ecosystem?
Yes.
And so that's what it's basically about. And so, when you do the idea, the ultimate idea for me would
Yes.
be for you to get this book and get together with a bunch of friends
Yeah.
and meet once a month for a couple of hours and discuss the topic of one of the 12 practices. So, for
Yes.
example, the first principle of permaculture is called observe and interact. So, before you design anything, where are you? You
Yes.
know, and what have you got to work with, and
Yeah.
what's really going on? And so it's called observe and interact in permaculture. So when we had our first farm was designed by a permaculture farm was designed by Bill Mollison, one of the founders. And when he came to do the design, I saw him standing in the paddock with bare feet and just standing there for hours, just looking. And he was doing what's called reading the landscape in permaculture.
Okay.
And so in inner landscaping, that has become a practice that I call attuning, which
Sure.
is reading my landscape.
Yeah.
And I started to see the connection between my inner and my outer landscapes. And what was going on within was reflected in what was going on without, and what was going on in my landscape out externally affected what was going on in. So, what I do with the workshop is we have 12 sessions and we spend each session doing a discussion about one of the practices. Now, you can do this obviously on your own as well. And my guide to people who decide that they want to do it on their own is to read the first part, which lays the foundation and gets you started with the rituals. And then the second part is just do one chapter at a time and
Yes.
really kind of relish it and let it sink in and take time to think
And
about it
embrace.
and embrace it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and kind of just relax into the process.
Sure. Lean
Um,
in.
and of course, like most things, I always say, like a good bottle of champagne and a sunset, some things are better shared.
Yes.
You know, so if you do it with a group, it really kind of everybody brings their own energy and their own experiences. And I like to see it as an antidote to what's been called the epidemic of loneliness that we're going
Sure.
through.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's all this online and virtual courses and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Whereas these workshops and these experiences, I really want people to kind of be in a group of real people and
Yeah.
remember what that feels like and connect on a deeper level, you
You
know.
know what, Kim Chen, this is making me think about your book would be fabulous for a book club.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah. Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Got
I
it.
was running workshops at a place called Life at Springfield in the Southern Highlands.
Okay.
And I had award-winning writers who came through the Stella Prize were running workshops there. And we had groups coming all the time. And I had so many writing courses. It was fabulous. And one of the groups that came was called the Book Chooks.
Okay.
And this is a book club that's been meeting for 10 years.
Wow.
And, you know, once a year they'll go away together. So
Yes.
for 1 year they came to Springfield. And
Yes.
as a result of their experience there, they decided to do inner landscaping together.
Yeah.
And one of them has now become a trained facilitator and
Wow.
runs groups for other people. But I went to the very first session just to kind of meet them and
Yes.
introduce the process. And then I came at the end at the last session. And what was so beautiful about it was even this group that have been together for 10 years said, "Oh my God, I got to know my friends in such a different
Different levels.
way."
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
So
and it was
beautiful.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
So
and it's,
Kim Chen,
yeah.
I'm curious, is this your first book?
I wrote a book with my MFA
Okay.
when 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was actually a kind of memoir and mostly about my relationship with my dad, who
Sure.
died while I was writing it. And
Ah,
so it then kind of just got tucked away in
okay.
the drawer. And I'm reviving that book now.
I was
But
going to say, because I know
yeah,
someone listening will probably message me if I don't ask this. Can you get that old book? Not
I
yet.
never published it.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
never
there you
published it.
go.
It just got tucked away. So that is the next one to be published.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's super exciting to look forward to. And I'd love to have you back with any future books.
Oh,
But
thank you.
Chen, in the meantime, if anyone's listening or watching and is curious about this idea of inner landscape, is curious about your work, you do have a fabulous website. Point us in the direction of how we connect with you and how we get the book.
Okay. Well, the website is, I don't know if you write it down and on
No,
the,
I'll put it in the show
yeah,
notes, but
okay. But
just
it's,
refer
yeah,
to it.
just
Yeah.
inner landscaping, inner-landscaping.com.
Yeah.
And that does have a lot of information on it and a lot of opportunities to ask different questions, which will come directly to me, which I
Yeah.
love. And so you can also buy the book online. And there are also a set of cards, which I luckily have one right here. It's actually
Ooh.
not open yet, so I'm
Yeah.
about to give it to somebody. But it's a
Yeah.
set of cards that kind of summarizes the process so that you can actually keep them in your bag as a ready reference, or
No.
some people use them as journal prompts as well,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
journaling is a really big part of the
Yeah.
process.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, you can get it online, or if you don't want to pay the postage, which is around Australia about $15, you
yeah.
can ask your local bookshop to order it in.
Sure.
So John Reed is the distributor, and you just go to your local bookshop and say, "Can you please get me a copy of Inner Landscaping?" And they
Sounds
can.
too easy. I will put those references in the show notes to make it easy for anyone listening. Kim Chen, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your first time on Yellow Shelf. I really hope you'll come back in the future and share any more books that come our way. Enjoy this one. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Joe. This was fun, except for my bungle in the middle, but let's get past
Oh, that's
that.
what it's all about. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Okay.